Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Sports Wrap. My name is Scott Morgan off the Motor City Mad Mouth. Glad to have my crew tonight. I have my two young kids. I love these two kids. They're great. I'm proud of them. They're going to do some big things. I'm glad we got them at the early stage of their career. I don't think I'm out of line by saying I'm proud of my two kids. Am I, Cody?
Oh no,
What
I'm
about you,
ready.
Jillian?
Not at all.
Good, because I'm proud of these two kids. They're going to do big things. I'm glad I have them on our platform. And of course, Uncle George is in the house to make sure that he understands how to mentor people the right way. Right, George?
You betcha. You betcha, Scott. Good to be on board with all of you.
See, I have to mentor you in the new media, sick them head, just to make sure these kids go ahead and we set the right example for these two. But that's all right. You come a long way too. I'm proud of you, Icorn. All right, well, few topics to get to. We're going to have a couple non-sports ones as well. So we're going to have a really good time tonight. First of all, Jillian, what I want you to do before we go any further is why don't you talk about the recent event that you did play-by-play for with the Army Navy? Please let the viewers know a little about yourself every show so that they realize that you're more than a one-trick pony.
Sure. I was an analyst for the women's volleyball match up at West Point for the Army Navy game. It was super cool. It went into a full 5 sets, so that's always interesting. That was my first time covering an Army Navy game, so those are always fun.
Oh, most definitely.
Wow.
Yeah, that's great.
That's a
definitely
bucket
heated
list of mine
rivalry.
when it comes to football, I'll tell you. And she goes ahead and does it here on volleyball. I don't care where you're at. Anytime you get these two military academies in front of you, I think it's really great stuff. All right.
Yeah, it was super interesting.
Where was it held, Jill?
It was at West Point.
At West Point. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, great. That's awesome.
All right. Well, no show would be complete to acknowledge the fact that Alex Ovechkin amassed his 900th goal, the only one in that club. We're going to talk more about it in future weeks. We're going to touch on a little bit tonight, okay? And he's in a class all by himself. Goal number 900. And over the next few weeks, when Mike Santos and the rest of our regulars come on, we're going to track his milestone by the 100th and win his first. But we're going to touch on it a little bit tonight. So, Jillian, what are your thoughts about Alex Ovechkin finally getting that 900th goal?
I mean, I think we all knew it was going to come, especially if he was going to take another season. It was just a matter of when. It's not necessarily surprising that he did it. I just think it just shows the type of player that he is.
Cody?
I mean, for someone his age to still be playing, especially after breaking his leg last year and still hitting 40 goals and however many games he played, and you knew he was going to hit the 900 this season. It was just like as Jill said, it was a matter of fact when, and for someone like him where he could do it from this almost the same spot as much as he did, it just shows you how good of a shot he has.
Icon, first ballot Hall of Famer. You know he's going to finish his career in
Yeah.
Russia. And another thing we're going to be introducing to the Thursday night sports wrap is I'm going to have a couple non-sports topics as well, just to keep it loose a little bit. This seems to be working in other shows, and I figure with Cody and Jill on here that this would give them an opportunity to have a little fun with this segment. If it worked everywhere else, why not bring it on here? George, some thoughts about Alex Ovechkin?
Well, yeah, he's quite a guy. No question about it. Hall of Famer. I mean, he does have a lot of stamina. He's done something that nobody's ever done before with that 900, man. That is awesome. I'm so proud of him.
I mean, I'm glad he has a Stanley Cup in his pocket too, so nobody will ever be able to put him in the category of a Dan Marino. You're a great player, but where's the hardware? He got a Stanley Cup, so more power to him. All right, let's talk about our first topic: the new additions of the Prime Monday Night Hockey broadcast team includes Christine Simpson and Chris Pronger. Well, you know what, Jillian? Why not bring this up? Christine Simpson's a really good young broadcaster, and obviously you're trying to make a name for yourself as a female as well. What are your thoughts about the hires for Prime Monday Night Hockey?
Yeah, I will love anytime they bring in a female reporter. I think it's great. Also, just bringing in new on-air talent kind of keeps it fresh. Sometimes it's good to have the same faces, but it can get a little stale sometimes when it's the same people over and over again. So getting new faces in there and new personalities can like jazz things up for viewers who maybe aren't as entertained as they would like to be.
Great stuff, Cody.
I'm happy that Christine is going to get this chance to be with someone like Chris Pronger, someone that knows the game very well, and I think they're going to be a fantastic duo. And I can't wait to see them, go live and everything.
George.
Yeah, I think this is an awesome step in the right direction. That's the Prime Monday Night Hockey crew that you mentioned. This is almost uncharted water. With her bringing on the play-by-play, and Pronger's had a great career, and obviously is a good analyst. I think it's great. They've got a great lineup going. They've got some wonderful matchups that some have already occurred, of course, but their next ones are coming up in the next several weeks. It's going to be a great package. I hope it's successful because these exclusive games that are streaming nationally every Monday night is something that I know Gary Bettman of the league has wanted to do for quite some time. But good luck to both of them on the broadcast crew.
Well, you just said it, George. You said a mouthful. Good for you. And that's it. Streaming is really where it's at. We all know exactly how these TV packages are being turned upside down. And why are they? Because of streaming. I could sit here on future shows since I have Jillian on here and Cody and talk about various broadcast trends, which I probably might, just to educate these two a little bit more about how things are going. But streaming's where it's at. That's what we're doing now, right? Do you agree? And these shows get more further than YouTube. They go all over the place with all the different platforms, and it just blows me away for sure. All right, Jillian, why don't you give us a New York Rangers update? What's going on in the Big Apple with hockey?
I mean, at this point, they're obviously off to a little bit of a rocky start. It feels as if they're a little bit, I don't want to say scared to play an MSG. It's just not the record you would want on your home ice. The Knicks are saving my sanity a little bit. It's also just surprising the turnaround of their power play is just not being as successful. We used to have one of the top power plays like in the league, and now it's just completely fallen off. I think that we're going to have to get a little bit more crafty with our type of shots. It just feels like everything's predictable, and we just need to shoot the puck more as a whole. So,
did you know that I had Kenny Albert on our network?
I think you told me that one time.
I'll have to send you that show. Kenny's been a good friend of mine for a lot of years, Jillian. I actually met him over at the All-Star game in Tampa, and we became good friends. He was willing to come on the Motor City Madmouth. So just like you, young lady, you came on the Motor City Madmouth, and Kenny was willing to do it. We had a good time for like 25, 30 minutes. It was unbelievable stuff. So have you had a chance to watch him in action doing Rangers games?
Yeah, I have.
How do you like him?
I like him a lot. He's good at what he does.
Yeah, not only that, he's really versatile too, isn't he?
Yeah.
He knows exactly what he has to do. And without question, one of the greatest broadcasters of all time. All right, this is a standalone for Jillian, so let's keep it going here. Let's talk about the Utah Grizzlies announced their intention to sell the franchise. Relocation is possible. Well, let's face it, you have the Utah Mammoth there. Jillian, what are your thoughts about the Utah Grizzlies?
I would say it kind of does bring up a little bit of concern if the area itself can uphold a team, especially when you just opened up a brand new team there. I don't know what the reason is for selling. And it also just that team has been there for so long. No one wants to see the team that has been there for a while leave. I just hope it's not a prediction of future trends within that state.
Okay. Oh, good points. And I'll tell you a little something, Jillian. Many years ago, I covered the Utah Jazz for a couple of games on a real big trip that George knows all too well about. And I ended up getting a invitation to cover a hockey game. I don't know what the name of the hockey team was, but when I told them that this radio station out there, I told them what I was doing. They invited me to a hockey game. I ended up covering about 28 states in about 30 days to finish off, or 12. I don't remember the amount, Jillian. It was a lot to finish off the final 48. It was unbelievable. And one of those trips ended up being in Utah over at the Salt Palace. So, Utah, they're actually a pretty good fan base out there. They really are. But now they've got to the point now where you have the NHL there. So I understand if they move on from a minor league team, it's totally understandable. But we'll see how it plays out. We really will with the team. If they can get some local support to keep them, more power to them. But Salt Palace, that was way before you were born, young lady. Mark my word. I always seem to be saying that these days, but it is what it is. And that team ended up becoming the Detroit Vipers, George. That's what happened is they ended up moving to Detroit, and they became the Vipers. A little bit of history there, Joe.
Yeah.
So with that said, okay, let's go to our non-sports topics. I know Jillian's chomping at the bit one is, what is this guy doing with this stuff? Well, get this. Russian people often gift red carnations at funerals. Why am I bringing Russian people up here? Because we got Russian players in the NHL. What are your thoughts, Jillian, about Russian people and carnations?
I don't know if that's their tradition. That's their tradition. I don't.
I knew that I was going to get this kind of response. That's why I bring this topic on here, Cody. I knew it. Jillian, I'm proud of you, young lady. If that, because I told you I like to be off the wall and fun. You've already figured that out in a few weeks, right, Jill?
Yeah.
So what do you think of this? Russian people gift red carnations. How far fetched is that?
I don't think it's that far fetched. I feel like most people give flowers at like those type of events. No? Am I wrong?
I don't know. I'm just about out of funerals anyways. The only people I got left nowadays is my brother and my dad. And I don't go to many other ones.
People send flowers.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't really handle that department anyways. But I'll take your word for it. This shows you how old school I am, Jillian. But yeah, I guess so. But we'll just talk about Russian people and red carnation. If somebody gave you a red carnation, how would you like it?
I have to like look up what a red carnation looks like now.
Oh, there you go. That's a spirit. That's a spirit. I don't even know what one looks like either until I saw this diagram.
They're nice. I think they look nice.
They just look like simple roses.
Yeah.
In a way.
Well, the thing is that what I've seen happen, at least in the U.S., is at the funeral, what they'll do is they'll bring a couple of the arrangements that people had at the funeral home, and then they'll hand those out when you're inside the chapel or the place of repose, and then they let people, take a rose, for example, and put it on top of the casket. So this isn't too far-fetched of an idea. I like the red rose and the red, red or yellow rose, mostly here in the U.S., but the red carnation idea, Scott, that's pretty cool. I like that. The Russians are up to something there.
Well, according to Google, red carnation symbolizes love, admiration, respect, and courage. Specifically, deep red carnations represent passionate love and deep affection, making them ideal for romantic occasions like anniversaries and representing devotion and emotional healing.
Hey, Jillian, don't feel too bad. I know what one of these things looks like. All I know is the topic looks interesting. I just thought I'd throw it out there.
I just get whatever my wife tells me to get, and then that's it.
I just get whatever looks nice.
There you go. That's a spirit. That's all I need out of this. A lighthearted segment, and that's all I got. I asked for it. I got it. Don't worry. Plenty more to come. Mark my word. And Jillian and Cody know I have a lot on my bag of tricks, don't I?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah,
you always keep us on our toes.
Yeah, well, that's what we try to do. We really try. And wait till I start bringing Mike Santos on and the rest of the people I got lined up. Jillian and Cody are definitely going to get an education, right? Education, not education. Mm-hmm. I learned this from a friend of mine out in Arizona about what it's really like with these other guys when we get them on, especially Santos, Jillian. I know you told me for the longest while you're looking forward to having him on. And now you got a lot of people's attention that are watching this thing as well. All right, well, let's go back to the TV here for a moment. ESPN hires TJ Oshie as an NHL studio and game analyst for the NHL's 2025-2026 season. Cody, some thoughts?
I mean, I believe he had a couple segments during the playoffs, and he nailed it. I mean, he looked good. He dressed good. I mean, he knew what he was talking about. I mean, someone with his long career, and everything like that, his knowledge of the game. I mean, he's such a perfect fit for that. And like I said, I love the idea with him, especially after him retiring. I know him as TJ Sochi, really. But like I said, I'm just so glad to see him still in the hockey world. And I think just it's a perfect job for him right now.
Jillian?
I would agree. I feel like he has a lot of energy and he could contribute to ESPN's team. I feel like they're slowly starting to add in, like they have a lot of Canadian talent in the broadcast world, and they're slowly starting to add in like a little bit more American talent. I don't think it's based off of anything to do whether if it's Canadian or USA. That's just how it wound up working out. But it's interesting to see that there are a little bit more male USA broadcasters being added on in the hockey world.
Great. And you know what, though? Great point, too, Jillian. I'm glad. And one of the reasons I wanted that Christine Simpson is because you're on this show and you're adding a nice dynamic female presence here, it's good that you'll have another person like Christine Simpson to potentially look up. And there's another one that obviously I don't know if you paid much attention about, Jillian, is Catherine Tappan has done a great job as well. And I think she was with NBC for a period of time before they relinquished the rights to where they are now. Catherine Tappan, Jillian, if you know much about her, I'm sure you'll figure it out and find her anyhow. She's another great, and Linda Cohn is another one. George, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, yeah, TJ Olshey, he should be pretty good at what he does. He really is obviously he was a decent player. He worked a long time in the NHL. Played a long time in the NHL. He's only 38 years old, so young people can still relate to him. His playing career ended in 2024. And, two good teams. He was with St. Louis and Washington. I think his insight and his perspective from being in the game so recently and not being an old timer, if you will, and nothing against those old guys, but it's good having a younger voice there because, like I said, he can relate more to what the younger crowd is looking for in a hockey broadcast and on the ice as well. So good luck to him. I'm happy that he's part of the crew there at ESPN.
Yeah, I mean, he's a heck of a hockey player, really is. I mean, now all of a sudden you have a guy who's a really good hockey player that explained it well. And if anybody can talk about Ovechkin better than him, bring him on, okay? Because TJ Ocean again and Ovechkin again. We're going to have more about Alex in the coming weeks. It was just good to be able to bring it up tonight for sure. All right, with that said, we're going to go to our quick first station break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Anaheim Ducks, the Detroit Red Wings, and we're going to hit Jillian and Cody with another non-sports topic. I'm expecting we're going to have a lot of fun as we lead up to Fire Up. The one thing I love about this Sports Wrap show is it runs fast, right, Jillian? You ever see a show that runs as quickly as it does?
I don't know if I have, no.
Yeah, that's okay. And by the way, you're wearing that Yankees hat. Do you foresee some big moves coming on during the offseason with New York Yankees?
I just pray and hope at this point. I don't make any predictions. I just try not to get my hopes up. I just hope everything goes good.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair enough. All right, Candy, take it away.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by your host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth. Talks about his 40-plus years in the industry and how it has changed and evolved. Old school media versus new school media. And guess what? George Eichhorn wrote the foreword. He's also on this great broadcast. Great job, gentlemen. It's a great read. Go get your copy today. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. There's also a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there is a plethora of great content, so go check it out. If you want to advertise, call Scott 954-304-4941. If you want to be a guest or have topic ideas, you can always email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. But most importantly, if you see that red subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner, that means you have not yet subscribed to our channel yet. What are you waiting for? Just do it. Like it, share it. And then tell all your friends and family about it as well. And turn on the notifications so you're notified anytime we go live, because trust me, you don't want to miss this great programming we have in store for you. I'm going to preview just a couple of quick little things. We talked to Will Parsons, and he is a former U.S. Olympic bobsledder who talks about CTE, and he's trying to raise money so that he can give free treatment for anybody in a hyperbaric chamber to help with any brain injuries or CTE and all of that. So definitely turn on your notifications, get notified when we go live, and don't miss our programs. Back to you, Scott.
Thank you, Candy. All right, we're going to go to the Anaheim Ducks. They beat up on the Red Wings a little bit last week. I know Cody must have loved every second of it, but I'll tell you what, that's okay. Hey, listen, they're a much better team under the guy I'm about to talk about. If the Anaheim Ducks can get at least 31 wins this season, then Joel Quenneville will become the second head coach in NHL history with 1,000 wins. They had 35 last season. Cody, where do you think they're headed for win total? And Joel Quenneville gets that milestone in Anaheim, that'll be pretty good.
Oh, I haven't been this excited for a Duck season in a long time. But I they're already a third of the way there for those 31 wins. So,
Okay.
like I said, I'm happy with the way the season's going. We're playing great. We just swept the Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So
breaks my heart. Not okay.
oh, trust me, especially after the refs in that game, I'm glad we won. But like I said, watching Joel Quenneville coach his team, you could just it's like night and day. The difference with this team but from last year with Cronin and this year with the Ducks. I mean, it also helps, having someone actually in front of the goalie like Kreider. Sorry, Jill.
Okay.
And Trouba, who would have thought, 3 goals, 5 assists. And can you believe it that in 12 games he has 0 penalty minutes? Yeah. Never thought I would see the day. I think we're going to see Trouba for the Lady Bing this year, sounds like. So, like I said, just everyone's playing well. Dostal's going to be a Vezina finalist this year. Carlson's playing on a whole nother level. And Cutter looks like he's going for the Rocket Richard this year, too. So fun to watch.
So, Cody, you need to treat this like journalism. You know all the last names, but everybody out there doesn't know the first names.
All right. Well, Cutter Gauthier for Rocket Richard, Lukáš Dostal for Vezina.
Okay.
And Leo Carlson is just, and then, like I said, he's the franchise right there.
That's called journalism 101, by the way. Not giving you a hard time, but,
No, I appreciate it. The more I learn, the better.
No, you're great. That's why you're on the show permanently anyways. But Rocket Richard's a name that a lot of people can relate to. And I'm sure that Joel Quenneville had to be thrilled as imagined to beat the Florida Panthers. Nothing against the Panthers, but he's a guy I think they should have won the Stanley Cup with, not Paul Maurice, because he's the one who got them to turn the corner. So unfortunately, he had those other issues. Yeah. But for sure. So what are your thoughts, Jillian, about Joel Quenneville?
I mean, I think it's astonishing to even be within the conversation that you might reach that record. I think it's also kind of balancing, because he's a bit of an older coach, obviously, with the amount of young talent that they do have. So being able to mix that older coaching style with the younger talent, it seems to be working out well.
Well, when he joined Scotty Bowman in that 1,000 club, I think Scotty's the only one, right, George? Or Scott, did Scotty win that many games? I don't even know if he did or not.
I can't remember.
Doesn't he have the most wins in France?
I know he has a ton of Stanley Cups.
Yeah. I know Scotty Bowman has 31 wins. I don't know if he has the most wins, but I know he has 30 wins.
Over 1,000 wins?
Like in a season.
Yeah, right. I'm talking about Scotty Bowman in terms of his record. George was good about researching it, but Scotty Bowman has he'll look it up. No big deal. But yeah, you're right. To be able to put himself in glorified air
he's
like
that.
He's
1,200 and something, isn't he? Scotty Bowman?
It says he's a record of 1,244 regular season wins.
Yeah, that's
what I just saw.
223 playoff wins.
Yep.
Thank you, Jillian. I appreciate it.
His name is on the Stanley Cup 14 times as either a coach or an executive.
Yeah. Is that all? Oh, yeah.
Is that all?
Great stuff, Jillian. Yeah. See, she's even our track statistician too. She's a jack of all trades. I'm proud of her.
It's just Google.
Huh?
I said it's just Google.
Oh, that's okay. We just have to hide it and make it look like we sound intelligent anyways. I'll tell you how many times I've been inside of a press box. Everybody thought I knew it all, but because the PR staff kept stuffing us with paper called press releases, we knew what was going on before the time kickoff ended up was or wherever we go. We think we're smart anyway, but we have a little help from the PR people as well. All right, George, some thoughts about Quinn?
Yeah, Quenneville is, he's a reclamation project. I mean, I'm not saying that negatively. Anaheim, obviously, are taking the chance on him, and I'm happy they are, because I think that despite the problems that have occurred, and those are not anything to be brushed aside, don't get me wrong, the man upstairs with the hockey knowledge is incredible. He's been to the playoffs 20 years. He's won 3 Stanley Cups. And Anaheim has taken advantage of his knowledge and his coaching and setting their sights, as our panelist here said, on some hardware. And you can keep all the awards like that, player awards. And they're going after the Stanley Cup. That's what they want most. Obviously, every player in the league wants that. But yeah, he's already at 969. Did you say, Scott, wins? He's closing in on that magical 1,000. It's
31, George.
31. Yeah, he's one of the best. No question about it. I always admired him he won those 3 cups in Chicago. That was no easy task, but boy, oh boy, yeah, he's got a good thing going right now with the Ducks.
The man's won everywhere. I'm convinced he would have won with the Panthers if he didn't have that little hiccup. But I'm glad he's on Southern California. It seems like Southern California has some great hockey minds out there. Got Quinville with the Ducks. You got Ken Holland currently with the LA Kings as well. All right, well, since we don't have to gong you or beep you this time, we'll talk about a Red Wings topic. And this one's a pretty interesting one, to say the least. That was Cody's idea, by the way, George. That's okay. He's earned the right to pick on you, and I let him do it, so you can't say anything. Other than really, seriously, really, which I'll do if you really step out of line. But Eichhorn, you come a long way. You're doing good, man. But the last time a Red Wings 7th round cracked the opening night roster was Henrik Zetterberg. There's a name for the past, Jillian. In 2002, guess what? Emmett Finney is the latest in 2025. 7th round pitch, Jillian. When you hit on them and they do this well, they're gold. What are your thoughts about that?
I mean, the first player you mentioned, I was 1 year old, so there's that. So I can't really draw too much of a comparison between the two, but having that much of a productive player on your team is obviously always a great thing.
Thanks for reminding me, Jillian, that you're only 1 year old. By the way, you know who Steve Yzerman is, right?
Yes.
He played with him. I love it when she makes these references. That's why we have young ladies like her that are going to be superstars, because you know what? They're going to make sure that they know people when I'm in my concrete nap in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and then she's out there lighting it on fire with Cody. But yeah, no, you're 1 year old. And Henrik Zetterberg was quite a player. But I'll tell you one thing about this. Emmett Finney, I've heard nothing but good things to say about him, Cody.
When the Ducks played the Red Wings, he was dangerous on the ice. When I heard his name quite a bit, and he looked good. He skates good, and he's playing top 6 minutes and everything like that. And I'll make you feel a little less old, as when I was at least 10 years old when Zetterberg was made the roster. At least I was double digits. But like I said, I kind of vaguely remember Zetterberg around that time, because I know that, like I said, the Ducks in Detroit were having some very fun playoff series around that time. So I remember Zetterberg very well during that time. And like I said, just someone very fun to watch. And he's definitely one of a kind. Someone, like I said, a legend in Detroit.
Hey, George, one thing I like about this group, we all have hats on. He's got his Duck hats, he's got his Yankees, he's got for Tribune, probably Eichhorn. And I have seriously, in case you have to step on a line, I have to smack you across the head with these words across this computer here. So I have other ones too, but this one was made for George Eichhorn, by the way.
Well,
but anyway, keeping it real, George, let's talk about
Henrik Zetterberg was a sensational pick by the Red Wings. I mean, you're that far deep in the 7th round, which is not always the best of the talent, if you will, that's coming through the NHL, but he had a great career. He really did. I mean, he finished with, 1 Stanley Cup. They won with Mike Babcock, and he won the Smythe Trophy that year. Zetterberg did. He made a couple of All-Star games, of course. He wasn't as prolific a scorer like in the latter part of his career, and I think that's the only thing that might be holding him back for the Hockey Hall of Fame. He's been nominated and he's been in the running, but so far he's not been able to get entry into the Hall of Fame. But it is tough to get in. And you're talking about Finney. This kid really looks great, and I'm glad you brought it up, Scott, because as you know, the Red Wings have continually tried to keep the talent at a developmental level for the first several years of their professional life, if you will. And that's all well and good, but now you're in a situation where a lot of teams are bringing their young talent up earlier, sooner, if you will. And Finney is a perfect example of that. And you're right. Relating that to Zetterberg being a 7th round draft choice, I think the Red Wings are very pleased with Finney and his start so far. And it's a great story. It is a great story for him to be, even in the 7th round, being on this team, starting the opening night roster, and he's been there. And you've seen it.
That's why Chris Illich does believe in Steve Eiserman. Steve Eiserman doesn't mind development. Yes, it's going to be painful, but don't tell that to the Boston Bruins who have to deal with the Chicago Blackhawks. All these teams are going to have to bite the bullet with this stuff. Realize, winning these cups is great. The Red Wings had a great run of 5 straight years to be able to go out there and get to the postseason. And unfortunately, it's just one of those things, or these things happen, but you look for long term, and things will get better at some point. You just hope they're sooner than later when you go through a lot of the growing pains. With that said, we'll remain on the Red Wings scenario a little bit. The Detroit Red Wings penalty kill, unbelievable. What a turnaround from last year. They were 70.1%, 32nd in the league, worst in franchise history. And this year they're at 87.2%, fifth in the league. What a remarkable turnaround for them. George, how have things changed on special teams with the penalty kill?
Well, I think one of the big things having the coaching staff and having McClellan in here the whole season and the training camp as well. So he brought his own knowledge and his own skill level, obviously, as a really good head coach. Todd's done a nice job to bring that penalty killing unit up. It's so critical. I mean, you're talking about a lot of close games, obviously, the Red Wings and other teams as well in the NHL. And boy, you better be good on special teams, both the power play and penalty kill. And I think he's developed that, and his coaching staff, Tangway and those guys. I mean, it's really an important part of the game. And unfortunately, you teach it, but the guys got to execute it, right? And a lot of these guys that are now part of, and they've seen the way Todd coaches, it's a very important aspect of what he wants to do, is defense, is penalty kill. Those numbers are a big jump from last year, Scott. You're right. It's a great thing going forward if they can sustain that as far as the penalty kill goes.
I mean, George, I'm not a math major, but 32nd in the league to fifth is one whale of a jump. I'll tell you, I was bad at math. I'll tell you, if I sat there and told you all the bad math stories out there, it would make my cooking look good, and that's awful to begin with. How many bats like me would put a cotton-picking hard-boiled egg in there for 3 minutes and blow up a microwave and broil a turkey on Thanksgiving? Only this one would. So let me tell you, I can figure out that math scenario. Yes, Jillian, it did happen, young lady. I broiled a turkey on Thanksgiving. The only thing left over many years ago was the skin, and that was about it. To say that my turkey looked like a basketball and a rubber ball would be putting it mildly understating the obvious. So, yeah, Jillian, I know you're a way better cook than I am, and that's all I'll say. I don't advertise my home economics thing here because there's nothing to write home about. It is bad, whatever. Fill in the blank. All right, Jillian, trying to follow that act of my craziness. All right, what do you think about the Red Wings?
I'm trying to now remember where we left off.
Where we left off is the fact that I just humbled you and put a smile on your face with my feudal cooking, but go ahead and we'll try to bring you up to speed, because I'll bet you've never heard stories like this, and I'm sure that anybody you ever get involved with could do a little better job with hard-boiled eggs and turkeys, right? And I'm not getting you in your personal life, but I only divulge that information to people that are in my inner circle.
Yeah, I would say I'm a pretty decent cook in that realm, but onto the Red Wings, I think it's always a good sign when something like that is starting to switch, like early signs in terms of power play kills or anything like that. Like that's a good telltale sign that like things are starting to flip around. And I think that we could see good things over the course of the season and maybe into next year for this team.
You know one food object that could give anybody a concussion?
No.
Put a grilled cheese sandwich in a microwave for 5 minutes and hit it off somebody's head. There's a concussion waiting to happen. That happened to me when I was at college at University of South Florida, by the way. And you can take that little sandwich and throw it through a triple pane window, and I'm going to tell you, that would break it in half too, Jillian. Not that I would ask you to do such a thing, because you're way smarter than I am. Okay, but that's your cooking lesson for the night. Okay, Cody, try to follow that up there with all my outrageousness. Thankfully, I'm only on the early show tonight. Candy gets fired up later in the country club. Go ahead, Cody.
Are we still talking about cooking or the Red Wings? I just want.
No, we're talking about the Red Wings.
Okay,
no, I want to keep you kids on topic. I just got on a momentum of swinging. I don't even know how I got on this thing.
I heard food and I was intrigued. Okay. I would say I'm actually a pretty good lazy cooker. That's how I would say my cooking is. But no, the Red Wings, I mean, I'm glad their special teams is looking a lot better this year. They're top 10 in both of them. Number 5 in PK and number 10 overall in power play. I mean, anytime your team is top 10 in both categories, you're doing well. So it's good to see that. And like I said, when the Ducks, every time I've seen the Red Wings play against the Ducks, and I saw them live a couple of years ago,
right?
And that power play has always been dangerous, especially with Patrick Kane and DeBrincat on that. The way they hit those seam passes, they move the puck so fast. And, you know, sometimes I get dizzy just watching them on the power play. You know, my eyes are just boom, 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 boom. I get dizzy. Like I said, they move it well, and it always looks very dangerous anytime they have a power play. So, and like I said, I've noticed with Todd McClellan that, you know, everywhere he's been coached, he's always had that 1-3-1 coaching style. But with the Detroit Red Wings, he doesn't do that anymore. So, because Detroit's a whole different team. So, and I think they've adjusted very well with Todd McClellan's gameplay and everything. So it looks good for them.
Yeah, Todd McClellan's a heck of a coach, and they have Pat Kane on there along with Alex DeBrincat.
Yeah.
These two guys are former Chicago Blackhawks. They're absolutely dynamite for sure.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the Red Wings and the New York Rangers. So face off tomorrow night in Detroit. The Red Wings are coming off a 3-2 West Coast trip. That's impressive for this young group too. They return to Friday night, take on the Rangers. Detroit's 9-5 in the Atlantic, and they're second, and the Rangers are 6-2 in the 8th in the Metropolitan. That game, by the way, will be seen tomorrow at 7 p.m. on the NHL Network. So for those of you that don't have the package, you can see it at 7 p.m. on the NHL Network. So I intend to watch it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, one more non-sports topic. I know my group is definitely looking forward to this one, but no, I promise we're not talking about flowers this time. We're talking about an animal this time, only on this show, people. Canadians have road signs warning drivers about moose crossings. And I repeat, moose crossings. There's a lot. And by the way, there's a hockey team out there called the Manitoba Moose. Now, Manitoba Moose. What are your thoughts, Tony, about moose crossings out in Canada? Yes.
Well, I mean, as a truck driver myself, I'm glad I'm not driving in Canada, because I feel like those would just destroy my truck. And I drive a bomb pretty much because I drive propane. So I'm glad I don't have to deal with it. But I mean, that's just, I mean, I've almost hit deers. I've dogs, cats, squirrels. I've rabbits. They all like to run right across as I'm driving. So
Oh boy.
I would hate to see a moose. I think I'd be scared of a moose, you know? So I don't even want to imagine that.
And think about it, they even have a hockey team, the Manitoba Moose out there.
Yeah, that's the AHL for the Jets, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they are actually.
Yeah.
I just thought that the topic was so interesting that we had to connect the hockey. Yeah, Manitoba Moose, Manitoba. I get the drill. All right, since you get the drill, we're going to go to Joe.
I mean, here on Long Island, we have like deer crossing signs because they'll like jolt out sometimes. I feel like it's the same thing, only much, much larger. So yeah, I feel like it's nothing I'm not used to seeing, but I think it's good that they have those signs so that people are aware.
So Joe, how do you like these non-sports topics?
I like them. I'm giving my input.
There you go.
There you
Exactly.
go.
I like it. Look at this. We're just
There
trying to
you
keep out on sports rap. Hey, by the way, you're in Long Island, huh? Did you ever go to many Islanders games over at the Nassau Coliseum at all?
Yeah, I actually went when they were playing the Lightning in the playoffs, like when I was in either my early college or like late high school. I don't remember, but that's when they were still at the Coliseum.
Gotcha. Yeah. How'd you like the Nassau Coliseum?
I like it. I think it's like 15 minutes from my house. So
Oh, that's not too bad.
yeah.
Yeah, I actually took a photo one of these times. I have to get it to you, Jill, with Dennis Potman when he was at the Panthers.
Yeah,
That
I'm
was
just
some-
happy they're not at the Barclays Center anymore.
Yeah, I heard that place was awful, wasn't it?
It was like
heard-
skating on water. It was not built for hockey. It's nothing against the Barclays Center. It's just not built for hockey.
Yeah, it's funny how you say that because it reminds me of the American West Arena many years ago in Phoenix. George knows about that story all too well.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That one of the goals was actually you couldn't even see it. It's just awful. So, and it's a good thing they got that situation right for sure. So yeah, well, that's all right. We're going to incorporate those non-sports topics every week. So George, Well, you're talking about, but you're okay with the moves. That's all right. I'll have other stuff, Jill.
Yeah,
and Cody this week.
I can only imagine if you got in the way of one of those because, like you were saying, Cody. I mean, Rain and Jill, the deer crossing signs, and we have those obviously in Michigan also. But the moose is even a bigger, as we know, larger animal. Yeah, you definitely got to be cautious about running into one of them, man. Oh God, you don't want to think about that. But that's interesting, Scott, that they've got the moose crossing. I love it. They should.
Well,
Yeah.
a lot of non-sports stuff we're going to bring on here. We're going to be talking about Canada, Russia, and some of the other countries. I want to make sure that since hockey plays worldwide, I want to make sure that everybody gets a little international flavor here. So I just wanted to break it in tonight with Moose and Red Carnations. It gets interesting week in and week out. And Mike Santos is used to some of these other ones, but some of the stuff I'm cooking here, oh my God. As long as we keep it cooking topics instead of what I do in the kitchen, which isn't, I'm not talking about that anymore, but at least I got everybody smiling in the group. That's not the worst thing in the world. All right, we're going to bring Candy Ebling on for one more station break. What she's going to do is give us a preview of what's going on in Fire Up. And then after that, everybody's going to have the opportunity to let everybody know how they get a hold of them. All right, Candace, go ahead.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons in a Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth, and the foreword is written by another panelist here, Mr. George Eichhorn. Great job, gentlemen. It's a great book. Go get your copy today. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. It's also a great gift idea if you know anybody that is in the I'm going to be going into the media business, whether it be writing, broadcasting, anyone that's interested in any of that field. It's a great gift idea, and the holidays are coming, so go get your copy today. There's also a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there's a plethora of great content, so go check it out. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. If you want to be a guest or have topic ideas, you can always email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. If you want to sponsor a show or you want to advertise on one or any of our shows, call Scott 954-304-4941. See that red subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner, click it like a share us, and then turn on your notifications so you're notified anytime we go live. As far as Fire Up tonight, coming up approximately around 9:30 or so, we are going to be talking NFL and college football. We're also going to delve a little bit into, unfortunately, the tragic death of Dallas Cowboy, who took his own life today at the age of 24. So we're going to be talking a little bit about mental health and suicide and stuff like that. So it's going to be a hot topic, which is it's a sad topic, but we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk a little bit about Antonio Brown, who was arrested today as well. So a lot of the current topics we're going to be talking about. We're going to be previewing some of the college games and the NFL games for those of you that like football. So tune in approximately around 9:30. Back to you, Scott.
All right, the Country Club, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Candy Ebling in the group. So, Jill, first of all, what I want you to do is why don't you promote your mom's book, and then you can talk about everything else that you're doing as well. Okay, Jill?
Sure. My mom has 2 books. One of
Oh.
them is a children's book. One of them is just a normal regular book. It's about promoting mental health and wellness and
Okay.
just overall online digital safety for kids and how parents should be navigating that. It's called
Okay.
Don't Press Send, and you could order that on her website at don'tpresssend.com. And then you could reach me at Jillian_Schumacher on Instagram. And then, yeah.
You're incredible, Jillian. I'm proud of you. Keep up the good work. We're going to have a lot of fun. You're off to a wonderful start, Jillian. I'm proud of you, okay?
Thank you.
Say that from my heart. And with that said, go ahead, Cody.
Yeah, you can find my dad and I at Rolly Quacked on all social media and all podcast platforms. And we go live every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And like I said, we cover the LA Kings, the Anaheim Ducks. And like I said, I got to do a podcast with my dad every week. So I get to talk hockey and about, the favorite sport that we both love to do. And so I enjoy it every time. And like I said, and I enjoy being on here with my adopted dad and my adopted uncle, and, apparently my adopted sister. So I'm loving life right now.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, we have a good group here. And when Mike Santos and I bring other people on, it'll be great. And that's what it's so fun about it. I look forward to the show every week because I realize what I have here. I have the next generation of outstanding broadcasters in Cody Spink and Jillian Schumacher, and I'm not afraid to talk about it. And I'm so proud of it. And this is just fun for me to do it. Even if I got sick, I'd still come in this show and do it because of all you people. That's how much. I would. No, that's how much I take pride, Jillian, about this. And by the way, Candy put press send.
I saw it.
Yeah, there you go. Katie Schumacher, who produced us a commentator. Not so bad, Katie. If you're watching the show, thank you very much for allowing Jillian to tolerate my cooking stories because I guarantee you she's in life there's some things called duplication and some things you don't want to duplicate. My cooking isn't one of them. All right, with that said, George, go ahead. Put it out there for you.
All righty. You can read me at the South Florida Tribune website under the contributor section. I also write for a paper in town called the Detroit Downtown Monitor. And at the end of my column, there's always a little tagline, a link, if you will, to my book, which is available on Amazon.com. It's Detroit Sports Broadcasters on the Air. And you'll see on the cover there, Gordie Howe and Bud Lynch, of course, the great Gordie Howe with the Red Wings former mascot. Okay. For some reason, it just never, pardon the expression, it never flew the right way, the Red Wing mascot. So it's kind of a unique picture there. They're talking to the mascot. But anyways, Scott's in the book. I'm in the book. But the most important people in the book are hockey broadcasters like Bud Lynch, Bruce Martin, Ken Cal, Ken Daniels, Dave Strader, all the great Detroit announcers we've had over the years. And, of course, our friend Paul Woods, who Scott knows very, very well and is a good friend of. And we have a great, great story in that book. You can reach me at gikern@yahoo.com. And I'm also active on Facebook and Twitter with SandGSports99. And also follow me at, like I said, the normal social media platforms and trying to get the word out about this great network that Scott and Candy have brought to such a great place. This is just an unbelievable network they've put together here. So I'm proud to be part of it. Thank you.
You're welcome. By the way, you mentioned Dave Strader's name.
Oh, yeah.
I'll never forget the time when you and I and Gary Zito, I think it was, and him went out. Dave Strader, I know this is before a lot of people's time here, was one of the finest broadcasters you'll ever meet. And he died of cancer. And when you brought his name up, this guy here to me, when I asked him tips and things, he was so gracious. So Dave, if you're up there, rest in peace. I'll never forget the memory that we have. Wish we would have had camera phones back then, but I still remember you. And at times like this, when I have two people like Cody Spink and Jill on here, this is what we're trying to produce more of down the road, are people like this that'll make an impact down the road. So Dave Strader, rest in peace. It's unbelievable. And George, you have to understand with Jill, when I had her on our first show, she didn't know Gordie Howe's name initially, but when you mentioned Mr. Hockey, she knew that, right, Jillian?
I have my cards. That was my bad. I always thought it was Howie. I don't know why.
That's nothing wrong. Everybody knows him by Mr. Hockey, Jillian. It's okay. But now you know Gordie Howe because you're paired with a bunch of Detroiters anyways. No big deal. I mean, you have two of us. I mean, we only have 100 years in the business here. I mean, you thought you were 1 year old when I had that one situation. Well, it's okay. That's what I'm saying. I got Cody and Jill. These guys are going to be a whole diamond before it's all said and done. I know it. I believe it. I feel the internal power. But, come on, Jordan. It's time to talk to the Jill.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Hockey. Sick man. Really? Seriously, really? It's Gordie Mr. Hockey to her. Sick man.
Mr. Hockey.
It's like for me to yell at this guy. It's okay. See, I got this smile over. Not the worst thing.
Gordie Howe.
Yeah, look at her. New York Yankees. Yeah, hey, listen, that New York Yankees wear it proud, Joe, because once upon a time I got my start in that organization covering their minor league team, the Fort Lauderdale Yankees, so I take pride in them too. I love the Yankees at heart. I really do. Sick them at it, Mr. Hockey to her. See, that's okay, Joe. He's used to it. You are. You're doing great.
I'm not worried about it.
No, you look as cool as the other guys. The nicest Stewards guy. All right, well, that does it for this edition of Sports Wrap. On behalf of Cody Spink, Jillian Schumacher, George Eichhorn. My name is Scott Morgan, Rock Motor City Man. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll be back next Thursday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Hope you can join us. Meanwhile, have a great hockey week and have a great week all together. And again, next Thursday, same time, same place, same cast of characters. Take care, and thanks for joining us, everybody. Great job to my crew. Proud of every one of them. Have a good night. Fire Up is next.